of partner events which will highlight your favorite products, manufacturers, artists, and more. Join us every day at 2:00 p.m. from November 1st through December 20th for exciting interviews, live audience Q&As, and a chance to win special prizes. Head over to the Fishman YouTube channel now to subscribe and set your notifications so you don't miss out on any of these events. Hey guys, this is Ken Susi here with Fishman, and today I want to show you how versatile the new Triple Play Connect is by showing you how to use it as a MIDI controller right out of the box. So I spent about 15 minutes total attaching the new Triple Play Connect to my guitar by following just a few simple steps in the manual. The Triple Play Connect comes with two cables in the box. One is a lightning cable for connecting directly to an iPad where you can download the Triple Play Connect iOS app and play with a number of amazing sounds and loops. The other is a regular USB cable, which I want to show you how to use to connect directly to your computer and control other virtual instruments with it. This will work on a Mac or PC as a generic MIDI controller. So right now I'm on a Mac and I just opened GarageBand, which is a free download from the Apple Store. So there's a number of virtual instruments inside of GarageBand which you can choose from. But for this particular demonstration, I basically created a few different instrument tracks with some familiar sounding instruments. If you want the GarageBand project that I'm currently using for this demonstration, there's a link to download it and try it out for yourself. Now, any track that I select will allow me to play the instrument with the Triple Play Connect. So with the installation of Triple Play Connect and then setting up tracks in GarageBand, it was all pretty much easy to do and only took me minutes to set up. If you want to learn more about the Triple Play Connect, please visit us at fishman.com/Triple Play Connect. Hey everyone out there, my name is Ken Susi and you're watching the Fishman Partnership Series. I am your host today. Just so you guys all know, we're here live with Schecter Guitars and we'll be interviewing them for the next hour. Just so you guys, if you're new and you don't know what the Partnership Series is, we are basically, as Fishman, going live every day at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we're highlighting our partners. There's a lot that goes into making Fishman products as well as Schecter products, and we want to make sure that you guys know and can jump in, ask questions, just talk to us and talk to the manufacturers. And yeah, it's just one of these really great events that doesn't happen very often, but Fishman decided to get with some of our key players in the industry for these events. Real quick though, if you are looking for Fishman products, just head over to our site. It is at www.fishman.com. As you see, we make a lot of great electric products, acoustic products, amplifications, MIDI guitar controllers, amazing stuff. And again, real quick, we would like to ask you to head over to our YouTube channel, hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of these events. We're going to be doing this pretty much every day, and we have a lot of great people popping up. Right now, I also have Mr. Rob Ketch, who is the senior VP of Sales with us. Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Ken.
And Rob, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Rob Ketch. I am the Senior Vice President of Sales, lifelong guitar player, guitar fan, and thrilled to be here today with the guys from Schecter Guitars. We've worked on some very cool projects over the years, and I look forward to talking about a few of them with the folks watching today.
Awesome, great. Guys, just letting you know real quick, if you're watching from Instagram, head over to the Fishman YouTube or the Schecter Facebook page because we are going live. We won't be answering any questions on the Instagram. Before we get going, we have all these questions that we want to ask. If you guys have any questions that you want to ask, we're going to be putting them on the screen for everybody to read. Right now, Dale's writing, what magic is this? A guitar MIDI interface, I want it. That is the Fishman Triple Play. So if you're not hip to that, head over to our website. But let me stop repping Fishman products real quick for a second and introduce our awesome guests today. We have Schecter on the line, Adam Murphy and Jake Handler. How you guys doing?
Great, how are you?
Good. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. You guys have a ton of guitars behind you.
Yes, we have even more too. They're all featuring Fishman products too. So.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So what I wanted to do is just familiarize everybody with your audience. Basically, each one of you guys, obviously you've been in the music industry. Talk a little bit about how you first encountered music. Are you a guitar builder? Are you a player? What is it that you do?
Actually, I was a bass player. That was what I started off on. I was drawn to on that. I did start working in the music industry, but not in the guitar side of it. I worked with some different drum manufacturers and things like that. And luckily, I got to transition over into Schecter, where I got to kind of follow some of my passions of bass and guitars and things like that.
And I started playing guitar when I was pretty late in the game. I was like 18 years old. I had a 5-string Charvel because it was missing a string on it, so I got to playing. And then eventually I wanted to have guitars set up, and I realized how costly it was, and I learned how to do it myself at the Musicians Institute, the Guitar Craft Academy out in Hollywood, California. And then after that, I worked in some recording studios, and then finally ended up here at Schecter, where I am now.
Nice. That's a great point. I actually wanted to ask you, that was the next question. How is it that, well, actually, just tell the audience a little bit about how you arrived to Schecter and in your incredible position that you're currently in.
Well, for me, it was already a relationship sort of built in. Going to the Guitar Craft Academy in Hollywood, Musicians Institute and Schecter are both owned by the same company. So it was almost a shoo-in when I went to apply for this job as a setup technician. And then that sort of developed into me doing the customer service management and then product specialty.
So this is actually a pretty good question. It's pretty relevant. What first attracted you to music and guitars in general?
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, feel like music was a big part of like when I got into high school. There's a lot of people that were just in a lot of bands, and that kind of became a big social thing where if you played, there was a big group of friends that you kind of have and hang out and do this kind of thing. And everybody was in multiple bands doing that kind of thing, and it was kind of freeing because it was it was a way to just kind of be with people and have them like judge you more on your playing and your skill and everything else like that. And everybody kind of challenging everyone to get better, and it was just kind of a fun thing. I mean, I think that's why we all get into doing this, because it's a fun thing to do with your friends, and you can do it and make even better.
Nice. So Schecter and Fishman have collaborated on a number of projects. How did Schecter and Fishman start working together?
First, we were doing some acoustic guitars. Robert Smith has an acoustic guitar. We also did a few other models where we have the Matrix Infinity back there. It's a little hard to see if the one with the star on it right there. And then we did a couple other piezo products with you guys. And then that developed into the Power Bridge, which is on the C1 EA over there. That's another piezo system that we're using for that guitar. And then finally, when we came to the Fluence side of everything, that was because of Mike Dirks and Guar, because he was a Fishman artist, and that was the first guitar that we were making that had OEM Fishman pickups in it.
That's actually amazing. Rob, would you like to highlight a little bit about that too as well?
Yeah, you bet. I think one of the very earliest piezo Power Bridge projects we did, it predated the C1 EA, and it was I believe it was the Hellraiser Solo 6 EA, the kind of the predecessor to that. So that was a very cool guitar to work on. And as the gentleman mentioned, of course, the history of Fishman, lots of competency in the acoustic world. So working on the Robert Smith guitar, and also into the Orleans series of acoustics, which are more recent. Those guitars are very cool, and have recently gotten a ton of attention for their quality, their sound, and the artist that I've seen kind of everywhere playing this guitar is Machine Gun Kelly, featuring the Schecter guitars and so many things that he does. Including the Fishman-equipped Orleans guitar in some of the videos. So that was very cool. How did that relationship come about? How did you start working with him? And it's a great shot in the arm for guitars and rock and roll for sure.
Yeah, actually, so he's been on board with us now for almost 2.5 years.
Right.
Initially, when this kind of went down, was I had seen some stuff. I mean, he was already playing the Sinister Gates signature guitar out on everything.
Mm-hmm.
This was before he kind of transitioned into his current, pop kind of rock punk kind of thing. And so, before, when I had worked for Remo, I'd worked with Fred Durst, believe it or not, in his camp, who would connect me with their drummer. So I was like, hey, is there any way that you'll be able to reach out and see if he'd be interested? Already playing our stuff. And he said, yeah, absolutely. So when he came in here, we ended up talking, and he was like, hey, there's a big plan that I have where I want to do this kind of, pop punk album. It's something that I've got to work on. It's, I'm a few years out on it, but this is something like a transition. So I was like, all right, cool. So we originally started with an Ultra 3, and then also the acoustic, obviously, because he needed to kind of write and do some stuff. So a lot of that was written and recorded on the Orleans there. As we went on stage that we did. Engraved a little logo and everything too, but that's been a big part of it. A great partner, really good at getting us into that kind of scene too.
Oh man, congratulations! That's super cool. And as Ken had mentioned on the lead-in, on the electric guitar side of the world with Fluence, that guitar, the artist associated with that guitar, right in the center between you two gentlemen, that was the very beginning with Michael Dirks from the band Guar. And perhaps you could share, I know Ken was involved very early with Michael on the Fishman and the Fluence side. Perhaps you gentlemen could share a little bit of the story about how Michael got started with the Schecter brand and how you became connected with him as an artist.
Yeah, he's been with the company for a long time. We've done a couple of different models with him, and it's been a steady relationship. And we've been always happy with, of course, the legendary Guar. And it's actually the 30th anniversary of Scumdogs of the Universe, so it's kind of a cool celebration to have this new guitar come out with the Fishman influence pickups, and all kind of come together for that. But yeah, Mike Dirks has been a big part of Schecter for a long time.
That's fantastic. Actually, I can actually speak to that. I play in a band called Unearth, and right before the pandemic hit, we were on tour with those guys. So that guitar is fantastic. We have some questions rolling in. Well, actually, Dale just is writing fan promo for Fishman/Schecter. I have an acoustic Orleans Stage 7 with the Fishman pickups. It's the best acoustic guitar I've ever played. So thank you very much, Dale. And Bobby Stone is asking, do you currently play in bands?
Currently, no. You know what's funny is I'm not in a band. I think someone else asked us before, and I said the last gig I did was actually, I think 2 years ago now, so everything's been shut down. But it was at a Mexican restaurant on Cinco de Mayo. So all the major hits.
That kind of major stuff, you know what I mean?
I mean, if you want to make, it big, you got to start.
Well, before
I've been playing since 13 years old, but it's been quite a while since I've actually played with anybody. My last band was a group called Dead Things in War, and we did a full-length record with Dave Bianco at his studio in North Hollywood, so that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I haven't been playing out much, but it's been fun. I usually play every day while I'm here, which is nice.
Nice, great. Let's go back to the ball sack guitar as well too. I'm going to play a quick video, but then I was going to ask you guys about the specs of that guitar, if you guys would care to share. So let's play a quick video of the ball sack little intro here. Guys, can you do me a little quick favor and just give me a little bit of information on how that guitar is made, how it was envisioned, what basically went into that particular model?
Sure. We have a similar model called the E1. I think you can see it back there right next to it. So it's that kind of offset style, and we took something like that, and Mike really liked it, and he's like, how do we make it crazier looking? So we took his styling notes and we came up with something that had a wacky paint job, this cracked orange paint job. It looks incredible. And then we went with that, and we're like, that is how we make it is E1. So that's kind of the idea behind that, with this inlay, with the paint job, with the jagged edges, all the looks make it very distinctly a ball sack guitar.
The finish on that actually was, we were trying to match with his costume, the texture it's on it. So if you actually feel it, it's raised, there's depths to it. But that was the idea, was to kind of to do that kind of crackle, but make it look like it was part of the whole ball sack attire.
When I cut some promo with him on the road, he actually said that you guys happen to manage to fit his own personal time machine in that guitar. So I just didn't know how much you guys could talk about that. But no, moving on from him though. But we also work together with Keith Merrow.
Yes.
So do you want to talk about a little bit about the Keith Merrow Signature Series guitars?
Yeah, Keith's guitars that's been a long time coming, because he was with Seymour Duncan for a while, and then he found Fishman influence and had a signature influence pickup put into his guitars, which we have now. He's done several, I think 5 or 6 models so far, including 3 that we have currently. And there's one from our USA Custom Shop, along with 3 others from our Diamond series, and they feature the Fishman influence pickups that are his signature set.
Yeah, they're available 6 and 7 string. We have the artist models as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that this has been a really successful line of guitars for you. So I'm gonna pass this off to Rob Ketch too, who has a little bit of information on that as well.
Absolutely, yeah. The Keith Merrow guitars are very cool. As a matter of fact, I do want to let everybody know we're going to be doing an additional Schecter live stream and have Keith join us December 11th, I think, right, Ken? So we're going to have another feature where we're going to dig way deep into the Keith guitars and get a lot of information from the horse's mouth. But fantastic working with him. On the SLS Elite guitars, I took a quick look, and it's up to almost 30 models right now, between guitars and basses, 6, 7, and 8 string, multi-scales, left-handed sustainer. I wondered if you could share with us some of the details that run through the entire SLS line, kind of the things that make it an SLS Elite, from the wood choices, the inlays, the hardwares, all of the things that you did that kind of made it that special range that it's become.
Certainly. Well, the whole thing started with, of course, we had the ball sack guitar, and then we were like, how do we make a guitar around this pickup? So we make it specifically designed to work with the Fluence system. So what we had is we thought up a guitar that has an incredibly fast thin neck profile with carbon fiber rods in the neck, a neck through design, basically a performance machine designed to meet the same standards as the great sound of the Fishman Fluence pickups. You'll see these have figured tops on them, which we put on them, a drop top, and then a rear access right down here, just a wheel for the truss rod. And then we have locking tuners up here. And another item that we put on this entire line is the Ernie Ball compensated nuts. So you get more accurate tuning in the first positions, and you get this really beautiful tone. Multi-laminate down the back, and then you have ebony for the fingerboard, it just looks fantastic with this particular guitar. And then, of course, we have the hip shot bridge down there. And then there's multiple voicings. So what you'll have here is 2 voicings for the bridge pickup, 2 voicings for the neck, and then, of course, 3-way switch in between. So there's a lot of tonal combinations, too. So it does a lot of different things, and it plays great. So we're really excited, and we're pleased with how it came out.
Yeah, you know, obviously the Fishman with these pickups have so many different voicings on it. That's why we have so many different models that have it in so many different styles. Obviously, we have our PT here. We have hardtail versions of them. We have the Floyd Rose version, Floyd Rose Sustainiac. We've got a multi-scale version in 7-string. And one of the things that was actually really fun too was that we did one of the first ever Fishman Fishman Fluence bass pickups in our SLS Elite series. So that's their Slimline series. So everything on this is extra fast, extra comfortable.
Definitely got performance in mind. So somebody who wants to get a lot out of their guitar, this is definitely it.
Super cool. Those are great looking guitars. Jake, if you don't mind, while you're up, I know the SLS Elite, you've got beautiful fade burst finishes, which we've seen a little bit of. You've got nice natural finish in that multi-scale guitar. One of the super cool things that you guys do, I think, is the Evil Twin. Do you have anything up on the rack there that's got Evil Twin cosmetics? That's a cool guitar.
I'm also a big fan of wacky body styles, and I think a V definitely falls into definitely a cool body style. So this is the V1 Evil Twin. The whole idea was it's basically a mirror image, the Evil Twin of the SLS Elite. So satin black. It has the Roman numeral inlays, but all the same great features of the SLS Elite, along with a Tone Pros bridge right there.
Nice. And as far as the neck shape and the body woods and the construction, all the same, just the Evil Twin aesthetics, basically.
That's right.
Making it different. Cool.
I believe we actually have a really great video of some of the SLS Elite guitars, so let me just play that and we'll come back to talking about it. Here's a quick SLS Elite video. Hey guys, again, this is Ken Susi. You're watching the Fishman Partnership Series. If you guys want to watch more of these, we're going to be here every day at 2 o'clock p.m. But for now, we are streaming across the Schecter Facebook and the Fishman YouTube. So if you want to, just stay tuned and like and subscribe to the pages if you're watching. But again, we have Adam Murphy and Jake Handler here. Guys, obviously, you can make incredible guitars, and obviously they're loaded with fluence. With our new technology, our new pickup technology, what was your first impression when you first heard it?
Kind of hard to believe, actually. It really captures both the active, that classic kind of active pickup tone, but also if you pull one of those and you get a second voicing, my personal experience comes from working on vintage guitars down in Nashville, Tennessee. I was working for a repair shop, and when you A/B the sound of a vintage humbucker, something like that, and you put it up against a Fishman fluence and that type of voicing, it's almost uncanny. It's really, really great.
Yeah, and like I said, I always played bass on this, and when we came out with the Fishman fluence pickup in the bass, there, it's really impressive to be able to see all the different voicings you get out of that. I mean, you could literally get a super slinky kind of P sound out of it, or you can get a really fat low end out of it. The dynamics of those pickups are pretty incredible. It's a little unbelievable how much tone and how many different things you can get out of those. Fantastic all around.
Yeah, thank you for the nice words on the fluence. It's for sure there's a lot of detail and clarity into the pickups, and I think in the bass world, as well as extended range guitars, it really speaks through, because that low B string on a 5-string bass is going to stay nice and articulate, which is a hard thing to do with a traditional pickup. And I know the SLS Elite bass series, the 4- and 5-string basses, they've got a little bit different body style than the guitars themselves, right? It's its own original bass design. Would it be possible to grab one of those just so we could see around the SLS Elite bass a little bit? Love to check one out.
While they're grabbing that, please do us a favor. We're not ignoring your questions. We will be. We have a live interactive Q&A going, so feel free to chime in on the conversation. We'll totally take your questions. And there it is.
Right on.
The C4 SLS Elite. And it's still based on what we consider to be the C shape for our bass, because we have the C shaped guitars, which
Right.
is the body style that we have for SLS Elite. So we have a bass counterpart to that.
Nice.
The thing I still think is incredible about this is the controls on it, being able to EQ this thing, get the multiple voicings out of it. You got the volume, you got your bass and treble you can set here. You got pickup select on the whole thing. It does almost everything. It really, really does. Those pickups have so many options to them. It's pretty impressive.
Awesome. Well, that's a beautiful bass for sure. And it's with the pickups, we went for useful versatility. Not to have a bunch of superfluous sounds, but sounds that really work in a mix and reference classic and modern bass guitar sounds. So great job on the bass for sure. Looks great.
Appreciate it.
Looks awesome.
Nice. We have Steven Smith popping in here. I have the SLS. Oh, here it is. I have the SLS Evil Twin, and it's nothing short of amazing. So there's a lot of Schecter love going on right now.
If you guys want to, one of the things that we were planning on, we've obviously done the SLS stuff. Something that we were going to kind of give you guys a sneak peek on is that we're going to be expanding our Silver Mountain series into basses, and we're going to feature the basses with the Fishman fluence. And actually, this is the new. I'll grab it right now.
We did a guitar version of the Toxic Venom, which has been out for a little while now, and this will be the bass version of that, the C4 Toxic Venom, featuring the Fishman fluence bass pickups.
So this is a little bit of a sneak peek. These are not out yet, but this will be same thing, no C4, similar to the SLS, but this one's a little bit of a different finish on it, and there's just a little sneak peek for you guys. So we'll get back.
Wow, thank you very much, and it's very cool of you guys to show something that that's kind of a world premiere here with that instrument, with the Toxic Venom bass. When will it be available for people to go check out?
It'll probably be around January.
Okay, nice.
So.
So here's another question from the Fluence bass set the Fishman bass set were exclusive to the SLS for a while. Did Schecter have anything to do with voicing the pickups? I could probably jump in and just say that we've worked long and hard on those pickups, and Schecter heard them when we had them in stock, and they absolutely loved them and chose to put them in their basses. Do you guys want to talk about the tonal characteristics of those pickups that work with that bass?
Yeah, I mean, like we were kind of talking about before, the thing that's interesting about this is you can kind of get everything out of it. You're able to kind of switch over the voicings on it. You can really get that super slinky metally metallic sound out of it if you need to. You can also kind of flip back and forth through it, EQ it out to get a nice, huge low end on it. I mean, I know we were talking about, a 5-string and that low B really sustaining and being full, but even on the E or even up on the G, you can get this really, really nice. And not only that, but a very even transition from that super high register all the way down to the low end. I think that's kind of the most important thing. You're not hearing a big jump in it. It just sounds like one solid piece. It's great.
That's true. A problem with a lot of times when voicing pickups, there can be, if there are multiple voicings or something like that, there can be a disparity in volume. And these, like you said, transition perfectly. So you can get those different tones. You can jump from, like you said, a very slinky kind of tone to a nice big fat bottom end, but there's still that balance in volume, which is important.
That's awesome. Gary's showing up and asking, are there any plans to release more finishes for the SLS Elite range?
We are working on, I believe, a couple more, at least one. So yes, you can expect to see more finishes from that guitar.
I'm looking at a prototype over here.
Turn the camera around. No, I'm just kidding.
One proto per live stream. So maybe if you guys tune into the next one, which was December 11th?
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe we'll show you one more. We'll show you one more.
That would be awesome. That'd be a huge treat. Why don't we talk a little bit about the artists that kind of gravitated towards these guitars? Obviously, you have a lot of artists. Do you want to talk about, who's playing those guitars currently right now and basses?
Actually, what's really cool is the video that you just saw there that had the C7 multi-scale. That's a band called 1,000 Below, and we actually went in and that was on the Keith Merrow, and I believe it was actually that 7-string as well that they used all that stuff. So that was a very interesting thing to kind of expose certain people that haven't heard these pickups to it. Once they hear it too, they were like, we need to do the rest of the album with this. What else do you have that's, they started off with a 6-string Merrow, and then it was like, oh, what do you have with 7-string with those pickups? And put that in there. So that track that you guys just heard that's all Fishman on that one as well. I did another kind of a cool mod. There's a band we have called Afterlife. They went and put a single Fishman Fluence bridge pickup into a Nick Johnston traditional. So the thing that was kind of neat about that is even though it was a single bridge pickup in it, you still got multiple voicings. So usually if you have just that single bridge, it's kind of one-sided on it. Our other guys from Red Gold Green, they've been using this. The basses especially. It's kind of a hip hop kind of funk thing they got going on there. There's a lot of people that have used this. Obviously Keith, who does the signature stuff with this, and Ballsack, obviously his stuff as well. CJ from Galactic Empire was using a bunch of this stuff for us. There's a lot. It goes on and on and on.
That's awesome. I like to be transparent, so I'm going to add this question up here right now. This is one for Fishman. Can I obtain a 25K centric pot so I can have the tone control in my KM7 Pro Hybrid? Yes, you can. Head over to www.fishman.com. You can hit up our support, and also we have our online store. You can buy all different types of parts there. So, quick question about the Elite series. It's something that I was wondering about. When you first were coming up with the whole concept of the SLS, was there a specific player that your company had in mind? Was it a certain type of player, or was there an actual artist that you're like, we need to target that artist specifically?
Well, I think with this series in mind, of course, it did start centered around these pickups, the Fluence pickups. So we wanted something that was versatile, really. So these guitars, we feel, do a lot of different things, whether you're more progressive and you do more technical stuff, or if you're just balls to the wall, ball sack to the wall, maybe. if you're more like that, like more thrashing, you have control and precision with these guitars. And I think it speaks to multiple different styles, which is great.
I think the other big thing on this too is that, especially when you get into like the 7 strings, the SLS is the slimline series without that stick foot. So this is meant to be super comfortable. Usually, especially with the Fishmans, that like we were talking about, the low end on them is great. So when you get into these 7 strings, we really want to make sure that neck profile was as thin and comfortable as we could get it on that. I think with most 7 strings, you feel that reach is a little bit difficult to get to on that one. This one, not so much. It's a very nice, comfortable. It just plays really well, especially on that lower register. Obviously with those pickups paired with it, you got sound and you got feel for it.
Yeah, that was one of the very cool things in the development of the guitar, working with Michael and Ami and Colin when they were creating the instruments. We had the pickups ready to go, but Colin was really adamant about creating a whole series of guitars and making sure that it was something really special to launch the Fluence in, which we really appreciate and think was a great thing, because instead of just sticking a set of pickups in a pre-existing guitar, which could kind of get lost in the mix, as you gentlemen mentioned, he kind of, started with the pickups, wanted to make sure the guitar design complemented it, and 30 guitars and basses later, you can see some really great designs being generated. So that was a super cool decision on Schecter's part, I believe. So,
well, I think super high tech, top of the line pickup. So we needed to have a super high tech top of the line guitar to go with it. So
yeah, you got there.
I paired appropriately, and I think that we accomplished that. Yeah.
Nice. So Justin is writing, we need more baritone lefties. These KM7s are just awesome. And what's up, Ken? How you doing, Justin? How you doing? You guys putting out any baritone lefties anytime soon?
It's funny that you mentioned that. Usually what we try to do with almost all of our models is come out with some sort of left-handed variant. Rob was talking about Colin. Colin designs a lot of our guitars. He's left-handed. Brad, one of our sales guys here, he's left-handed. We've got a lot of lefties here, believe it or not. Plus a lot of artists too that are left-handed, and we always try to think about that when we do this, especially because the guy designing it is also left-handed. But we just started having some talks about doing some additional baritones, since the only baritone we have currently in the line is our Apocalypse. But we did want to kind of switch it up and add a few more, and we've been discussing a few different shapes and different options on that as well. So yes, it's in the works. Can I say that we got it coming out right now and left-handed? No, but soon. Yeah.
Nice. So this is a question I've definitely been meaning to ask you guys the whole feed. If there's one thing that your company could set out to do better than anyone else in the world, what would it be?
Well, I think a lot of it's versatility on it. We have, we're lucky that we're in a position where we make a lot of different shapes and a lot of different models, a lot of different variants as well. We have this full setup department here that we make sure as we get everything in, that everything goes through a setup before it goes out. It's trying to make sure that we keep everything to the highest level that we can of quality. But the other thing is, just like I said, the versatility, trying to come up with as many different shapes and styles that we can, from, our E1 shape to, a PT shape to a V1 shape back there to, trying to find something for everyone on there, especially in left-handed.
I think another thing we strive for as a company, and personally because I deal with this, is customer service. We want to make sure that our customers, people who buy our guitars or buy several of our guitars, one of our guitars, it doesn't matter. The point is that we want to make sure that they're supported and they feel like they have a company they can rely on, and they're not left in the dark when it comes to helping them with parts, helping them with warranty claims, helping them with quality control issues, anything like that. I want to make sure that we're accessible so that we can support them and make sure that they feel like their voice is heard.
That's always great to hear. Mike has a question. What is the likelihood of us seeing more models with necks like the neck on the KM7 MK3 standard? That thing is a work of beauty.
The standard is the bolt-on version of it. It's still very close to the same specs as the other Narrows, just obviously bolt-on. There is another model that will be coming, another cam that will be close to that spec. We're working on with a few other features, so there's definitely one in the works that's coming up.
Outside of that, I believe it is a Keith Merrow signature shape. We do have the ultra thin C shape, which is on the SLS Elite. Keith's shape is a little different. So it's unlikely that we'll use that exact shape on something that isn't a Keith Merrow model, but more Keith Merrow models will come with that shape, like Adam said.
Nice. Well, at this point, I want to ask you guys, and if for everyone that's watching, obviously you're asking questions at the same time. I want to see if your answers match theirs. At this point, what, in your opinion, is the best product that you guys have put out thus far? What do you like personally the best?
Personally, I'm more of a retro guy. With that said, I think the playability and the versatility of like the PT and the E1, which I love because I love offsets. I think the E1 SLS Elite is pretty much a home run for me.
Yeah, for me, man, it's a slightly different model, but we recently redid our original Banshee shape as a short scale base. It was kind of a thing that I went into Colin about. I was like trying to redo the guitars, and he came up with the idea, hey, what if we did it as a short scale bass instead of a guitar? And we launched it. So that was it's a pretty cool kind of, take that we did on a previous model as a guitar, but turned it into a bass thing. So I thought that was kind of fun.
That's awesome. Going back to your point about customer service, I have to put this on the screen because this speaks volumes. I can vouch for the Schecter customer service. I've actually emailed Jake a few times regarding some tech questions, and he's kindly responded to them very quickly, too, might I add. So Gary right here is a big fan of yours.
Hey, Gary. The whole idea is that I'm a customer service manager, but I deal with all of the issues personally. So when someone calls, I'm the one who's going to call them back. When someone emails me, I'm the person they talk to. So I like to be available, and if I'm ever not available, it's only because I'm in the warehouse or in the workshop working on something to help somebody. So,
or he's doing a live stream for Fishman.
Yeah, or that.
Well, this is
we want them to be taken care of. That's the whole.
Exactly. And this is why this is the exact vision we had for the partnership series. Not only do we get to hear about your amazing products, but we also get to meet the people. Well, the fans get to meet the people behind the scenes. Not everybody gets to meet Jake or Adam every day. So it's really cool that you guys are you're doing your thing and reaching out there to be available for everybody. I definitely have a question. What do you like the most about working for your company?
I think it's the people. I think we're all weird people, and we all there's no person in this company that's like, I'm just a normal person. No, everyone's got their quirk, and we all work together, and it's fun. When I get up in the morning to come to work, I'm excited to come here because it's going to be exciting and challenging, and I can rely on the people I work with.
I think part of it too is I don't think people realize how small of a company we are. Really, there's what, like 20, 30 of us in this building?
Yeah, I think so, something like that.
So everybody knows everybody. The nice thing is that from, a lot of us actually live near each other. Jake and I grew up in the same hometown, believe it or not. Didn't know that he worked here when I started. It just ended up working out that way. Our sales guy moved out over by me. Our vice president moved out over by me. We've got, Shigeki, who does all of our custom shop stuff. He lives out over, everybody's a very tight kind of community. And dude, there's a lot of texting in between work hours about things or ideas or stuff like that too, and it's a very good loose kind of a vibe around here, and I think that helps you stay productive and proactive on stuff, knowing that you're going to go in and that there is a team and that there's people here that are here to help and we actually care. I think that's a really nice thing to see too. It's not just let's produce as much as we can. Let's produce as great as we can. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Drew's asking a really great question here too, which I don't know the answer to. And also, does Schecter do custom work for the general public?
That is a big affirmative on that. We have our USA custom shop. A lot of the stuff falls under USA production, but then if you have something in your head that just doesn't look like anything else that we make, that is a Masterworks guitar, and we do work with the general public when we make those.
That's awesome. So I love this because this was a late addition to the live feed. Mike is asking, what's the red guitar on the end? It looks interesting. So I believe that's the C1EA, correct?
Yeah, that's the C1EA Cat's Eye Pearl. So it's more of an amber kind of color. We'll bring it up so you can have a look at it.
Yeah, as you guys talk about it, I have a few pictures, so I'll show everybody on the feed what this guitar is. So here you go. There it is.
So like every other Fishman product that we have, this guitar has about 20 billion different features.
It's another one of those things where mostly the players that I see are people who do a lot of acoustic stuff live. So when you engage that piezo, you get a really nice acoustic sound, and then you can switch it on over or have both of them on, and you get a blend of those two. So it's another very variable guitar, so you can do lots of different things. Basically,
you could again, like exactly what you're saying. So you can have the piezo on that, you can have the pickup on with that. You have an EQ on it. You also have a coil tap for all the pickups too. So if you do want to push both, go single coil on it, whatever, you can blend them. You can pick whichever one you want. And then also you can use a cable. You can split the signal out on it as well. So if you wanted to record part with acoustic, part with electric at the same time, you can do that. It does pretty much everything. Like I said, most products that we have Fishman, stuff in it, it does a lot of stuff. So this thing's not short of that either.
Nice. Well, this is a question that I'm going to read out loud, but it seems like I see a lot of traditional finishes from you guys, but Tyler's asking, how against traditional finishes are you guys? Some of the more traditional ones you put on are gorgeous. For instance, the one above the orange amp plans to offer more models with finishes like that. The one that was above the orange amp is the one you're currently holding. So do you plan to do more finishes like that, or is it incorrect? Because I do believe I see natural finishes from you guys a lot.
We try to have something for everybody. So there's not stuff that we don't like. Even the USA Custom Shop will use a traditional lacquer, a nitrocellulose lacquer, to get a vintage style aged finish. So we can do something like that. And then, we also have natural finishes like on the SLS Elite, for example, we did a gloss natural finish. And then we did this very cool pearl finish on the back, which is a semi-gloss. Feels great to the hands. So we do that. And, there's not a lot of things that we won't do. We don't like to stick in a traditional box, but we have that in the pocket in case we need it.
And I also think a lot of that has to do with what the instrument is too. It's like when we redid our P basses, we did a three-tone sunburst along with them because it's kind of that vibe anyway. The J basses, we tried like a seafoam. Like there's just certain things that those shapes lend themselves to certain finishes anyway. So nothing's out of the question by all means. Actually, we even do an EA that's in a great sunburst as well. It's kind of a classic. E1.
Nice.
But, it's all over the place.
Nice. Andrew is asking, the guitar that you were just holding, what kind of wood is that?
This is a mahogany back with a maple top, and then you'll have a mahogany neck as well. So you'll have that nice upper mid-range kind of warmth, and it's also semi-hollow, which is nice. You get the cat's eye hole right there, so the F hole, and you'll get a nice warm, airy kind of sound. It's great. It's not fantastic.
Nice. Dio Brando is writing, I wrote in Fishman for president. There's an election going on in the United States, so he wrote us in. And obviously our running mate is Schecter, so you're voting for both of us. Please make more SLS Elite colors, and they are great. So, quick question, guys. We're obviously running out of time, but it's been so great talking with you about your products and just getting to know you. 2020 has been such an interesting year. What has this year taught you guys personally and as a company?
What's been interesting about everything is, stores and things like that have been, have limited people coming in. It's really kind of just upping the amount of content that we can produce and go straight to the consumer. We also really want to hear more from the consumers directly. We do have a great guitar forum, a few different forums, whatever, but there is a good Schecter guitar forum that we have a lot of people that are reaching out, trying to get information from you guys. So things that we can design that have more of that feedback of what you guys are looking for. We've released a few different models. Obviously, like the Silver Mountains here, we released a few other colors. That was all feedback that we got from the consumers. So the more we hear from you guys, the better, and it helps navigate us through this kind of difficult times.
Nice. Drew is reaching out right now. You don't have to wait very long. Is Schecter going to bust out a gnarly 80s style Strat?
80s style Strat. Well, we have the Sun Valley Super Shredder series, which we are going to be expanding very soon.
If you really want to see something super 80s, there's a Sun Valley Super Shredder 3,
Yes.
Which has some pretty 80s style. Yeah, check that out. We're not short of anything 80s here.
Exactly. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the Fishman Partnership Series. Obviously, on behalf of Fishman, our relationship has been so strong, and it's just great to be continuing to work together. So we can't thank you enough for joining up on this. And for everyone who's watching, we're going live again on December 11th with Schecter plus Keith Marrow. So that's going to be an exciting event. So guys, I'm going to end it here, but we just wanted to thank you one more time for being on this live stream with us.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Fishman, for hosting this. And I'm so glad that we work together. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Anytime, guys. We'll see you soon. I'm going to give a quick outro, and we'll be seeing you soon. So, guys, that concludes our Fishman Partnership Series with Schecter. So if you liked what you saw here, please do us the favor. Head down and go to the Fishman YouTube, like and subscribe. We are going to be here every day at 2:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time doing a new event for you with different people. So subscribing to our channel and just showing up and asking questions means the world to us. So please, we'll see you next time. We'll see you tomorrow.